Hey everybody. I know I don't normally do this on a Friday morning, but in the wake of everything that's gone on this week and kind of piggybacking from what Patty gave us, which was wonderful on Wednesday night, I just kind of want to add a few oils and add a little bit about overcoming feelings of anger. Because as I'm reading through my Facebook feed and watching the news and all the things that are going on, it is apparent that people are angry. People are hurt. And no, I am not here to debate anything. So if you have comments that start into any kind of political, gun, mental health debate here, I'm just going to warn you that those comments will be deleted. What I'm here to do today is to provide you with some solutions, because if you are here on this page, most of you have the opportunity to help somebody or help yourself because you have oils in your home. And these are potent ways to help yourself and help others. And I think that one of the best things that you can do when anything happens, good or bad, is to step into the community that you're in and do something. Talking, debating, all those things are, they're somewhat helpful and they can bring to light a lot of issues, but taking action gets far more done than talking, in my opinion. So I'm here to present a few oils that will help you maybe get past a few things. And if you know people, I'm not sure what's going on with my hair. If you know people who need the help and need the oils, and you're not sure how to do this, then you need to message one of us, because we will be happy to help you get them and help you with that referral, okay? So going from books like the Emotions and Essential Oil book, and then the book I talked about the other day, the I Am Fabulous book, I talked about the bye-bye baggage. So many people walk around carrying all this baggage that is past hurts, past trauma, past, all the good and all the bad from the past. It can stem from something that happened when you were yesterday to 30 years ago to, whatever, when you were 4 years old. Those things can travel with you through a lifetime. And what I will say is, I know that I've carried a lot of things with me through my life and these 44 years on the planet. And sometimes it's great to have those memories. Sometimes that baggage needs to be unpacked and given away and dropped off and let go. So watch the bye-bye baggage and release it, because if it's not serving you, it's not probably serving anybody around you. So use that. The other thing is, we live in this crazy world, I remember when I grew up, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I remember when I grew up and we walked up hills, but I remember when I grew up, we knew our neighbors. I know my neighbors in this neighborhood really well. They are amazing people, and when we moved here, they came out, they introduced themselves, we talk now, and it's really cool. But I know that's not the norm everywhere. But in this social media, well interconnected world, there are a lot of people who feel super isolated, disconnected, and then they live in this world of comparison. And comparison will take you down fast. It'll create anger, it'll create frustration. And that leads to a lot of other things that are not healthy. So what does that mean? Well, if you are angry and frustrated because your life doesn't look like somebody else's life, well, if you are talking to them in a real manner, you may see that, hey, their house isn't always clean. Hey, they don't always look perfect on Facebook Live. Hey, they've got all this stuff that really isn't as perfect as it looks like, and everything isn't always roses and rainbows. But you have to talk to people. But we've kind of forgotten that in our world today. And so an oil I didn't pick up is marjoram. Marjoram is the oil of community, and it helps you connect better with other people. And the way you would use that oil would be just to rub it right. It's called your solar plexus, and I would stand up, but then it'll be weird. You just rub it right in the center of your belly. And getting that connected, putting that in the center of your belly helps you feel more connected to people around you. That connection helps build and helps you, start being, more connected around. Maybe you connect more with your family. Maybe you connect more with your friends. So, going back to the anger issue. I mean, my Facebook feed is just filled with anger today. And I understand anger is something that comes from a deep, deep hurt too. People are really hurt. They're very confused. And I get it. I am too. I'm not, it's hard to wrap my mind around that when somebody is that hurt, that's the path that they take. But there's things that, you don't wake up one day and just say, I think this is what I'm going to do. Back when I was in high school, just dating myself, when people were that hurt, there were a lot of mass suicides. And people were always trying to wrap themselves around, how do we not get all these kids to just go in the woods and kill themselves? Well, now they've taken it and made it more violent. So it's a violence issue. There's still that trigger of, I've got to get myself out of here. But it doesn't, it's kind of like a boiling pot of water. You stick it on the stove, and if you're not careful and watch it, it will boil over. So, oils, if you have them in your house and you start to notice people using that marjoram when you connect with people, you will start to see, hey, I probably need to help this person. That's key number one. You've got to be present and you've got to pay attention. But if you're seeing, that somebody is really, really hurt, I'm going to go back to the two, console and forgive. Now they come both in the touch, and then they come in the two bottles like this. Diffuse, console, and forgive. Rub them across your heart. Console is like a big hug. It is perfect to support somebody who really needs that kind of wrap around and help. If they have loss in their life and they have a deep need to be supported, console. If they are just they need forgiveness, and maybe you need to forgive yourself, maybe you need to forgive somebody else, forgive. Forgiveness is not just, I said this on the video the other night, forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. Forgiveness is to release you from the emotional prison that you put yourself in by constantly living in that anger and frustration towards that person, that event, that experience. So you need to release yourself from the prison, and forgive can help you do that. Okay? So those two oils. Now let's dive back into anger, because there's two oils that are, well, Patty touched on one, which was geranium. Geranium can be really helpful to build love and trust, but it can also help dispel anger, because one of the best ways to dispel anger is to build up more love. And love, love is not necessarily the antidote. Hold on. Love is not the antidote for all anger, but it sure can help dispel it. So geranium, you can pair this one really well. It pairs really well with wild orange in the diffuser, or like Patty said, rub it over your heart. There's different pressure points. You can put it over your heart on your hand. You can put it on your feet. If it's just a smell that you're like, oh, I can't deal with this because it is so floral. But you know, help yourself not be so angry, because anger can lead to revenge feelings, and revenge, you know, I will say this, I've been there. I've wanted revenge on people. But if you have to stay in relationship with somebody and you have those feelings of revenge, let's just ask yourself the question, if you go out to intentionally ruin somebody financially, hurt somebody, punch them in the face, punch them in the gut, ruin their reputation on social media because your anger boiled over in the moment and you took action on that, but you still have to work with them, you still have to live with them, you still have to be a part of their life, how are you going to feel after you've ruined that human? Because it's a human thing. It's not, hey, it was just social media. Hey, it was just this, oh, you know, I'm really sorry. It kind of goes back to that throw in the broken plate. Once the plate's broken and you have to put all the pieces back together, you may not get all the pieces. That's a good point, Kathy. You know, they all do come back. So think about your anger and think about how you want to be, because I will say you don't have to live in happy and joy all the time, but anger should not be, if you've seen the movie Inside Out, anger shouldn't be running your emotions board all the time. So a great oil for that is cardamom. Cardamom rubbed over your liver. Cardamom is also really good diffused. Cardamom would be great diffused with geranium. And cardamom is great to put anywhere you feel like you hold the anger. So if you're holding it in your head, if you're holding it in your heart, if you're holding it in your gut, rub the cardamom there. Dilute it, put it with a little fractionated coconut oil, and do that. And then think to yourself, why am I holding this much anger towards that human? Because you need to think of other people as other humans. They aren't labels. They aren't objects. They're other humans, and they have feelings, and they have emotions, and they have, you know, there's consequences to doing the things against another human. And those consequences can rebound back to you when you go after somebody. So if you go out to financially ruin somebody because you see them being successful and you're like, oh, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen for them again, what kind of rebounds are going to happen for you? Or I'm going to go ruin their reputation on social media. What kind of things are going to happen to you? It will come back. So cardamom can really help with that. Another blend that can really help is zinderkren. Now you think zinderkren is just a oil to cleanse out the body and make it run a little faster and run a little cleaner, but you store a lot of your anger right there in your liver. So if you help your liver run and operate better, and it's not clouded with the emotions, because as you've listened, if you've listened to me for any length of time, you know that I say all emotions come out physically. Well, if you are storing a lot of anger, your liver will get weaker, and then you will have other issues of struggling to lose weight, struggling with mood, struggling with addiction, struggling with hormone balance, because the liver kind of controls everything. You can't live without your liver. So zinderkren, rub it over your liver, rub it on the reflexology points of your feet. This is not one I would diffuse. It's not my favorite smell, but ironically, it has geranium in it. Now, the last single oil I'm going to talk about is helichrysum. If you've been hurt, if you've been the victim and you feel the pain, helichrysum helps you overcome the trauma, the emotional trauma of somebody coming after you, somebody taking that on there. So if you see that somebody's hurt, yeah, I love console and forgive right here, but I also love helichrysum right over the heart. Helichrysum is a wonderful oil to help heal those deep, deep emotional wounds. But there's a couple blends that I think are going to be really, really helpful. And You know, one of them comes from the Desiree book, and it's called More Than Enough. Because so many people who are hurt, it's really from a deep-seated feeling of just not feeling like they are enough on this planet. And I'm here to tell you, you are enough. You are enough. You have the ability to show up as the best you possible. You just have to choose into it. But this More Than Enough blend contains spearmint, wild orange, lavender, bergamot, tangerine, grapefruit, cinnamon, cypress, helichrysum, lime, and frankincense. If you're interested in learning about this, let me know, and we can chat about this, and I can show you how to make it. But the More Than Enough blend brings you to a place of abundance. Most people live in a place of scarcity and feel they are never enough. There's never enough time, talent, or creativity. And that place is intensely stressful. And it is important that they can feel that they are enough, and there's enough abundance and blessings out there for them too. I think that's a beautiful thing, that we embrace that there's enough for everybody. Because I think in that comparison world that we live in, when you don't think there's enough for you and there's just so much over here for somebody else, you miss the big picture that there's enough for everybody. And then finally, because of the events that have happened this week, there is another blend that will help people who have been through a very, very traumatic event. And I will give you this blend because it's pretty simple. This would be in a 10 milliliter roller. You're gonna put this in one of these. And what you need, and this is to help people who've been through traumatic events, okay? I think we all know what that would be called, but you need 30 drops of Elevation, 20 drops of Vetiver, 30 drops of Balance, and then you top it off with fractionated coconut oil. And you just apply it to your wrists, the back of your neck, down the spine, and the bottom of your feet as needed. So help the people around you, help yourself and help the people around you to live better. When you do that and you step into that, you step into your power, you step into your community, and you become a person who doesn't just talk, but takes action. And that action starts a ripple effect that empowers, shows love, and changes the world. And we're not on Facebook just debating. We're actually taking action that can save and change somebody's life. So you won't see me in a debate. You won't, or you can eat chocolate. You won't see me in a debate, but you will see me taking action to give and share oils to help people out. So I hope this helps. I hope this helps even just one person. If you have any questions, please message me. I'd be happy to walk you through some of the blends. Take care.